Rural Heritage on RFD TV is brought to you by Rural Heritage Magazine, a bi-monthly magazine featuring articles about farming and logging with draft animal power, small-scale diversified family farming and homesteading, and other aspects of our rich rural heritage. Rural Heritage Magazine, borrowing from yesterday to do the work of today. For subscription information, please call 319-362-3027 or order online at www.ruralheritage.com. Occupying most of a block in downtown Kidron, Ohio, is a store unlike any other. Begun more than a half-century ago as a small shop filling the needs of nearby Amish farmers, Layman's Hardware has since become the go-to source for many people interested in living a more sustainable lifestyle. And while the store is firmly dedicated to serving the needs of today's farmers, homesteaders, and others working off the land, its founder, Jay Lehman, maintains a strong affinity to the past. He's collected a tremendous number of vintage and antique tools, implements, appliances, and vehicles, and has many of them on display scattered throughout the sprawling store. He spent an afternoon showing us some of these pieces. This week, we'll focus on some of the smaller household and farming items. Come back next week when we look at some of the bigger pieces Jay has saved, restored, and put on display.
I got my start in the local garage here in Kidron, being a mechanic, and that's what got me interested in doing mechanical things and repairing things. Back in 1955, I had just come back from Europe, building houses for refugees over there, and I had no job. And it so happened that the local hardware here in Kidron was for sale, and I was looking for a job. And so I decided, well, this might be a good job, although I had no experience in hardware business. But I did have a lot of experience in mechanical work. I was a mechanic for a number of years, and at that time, repairing things was a big part of the hardware. Repairing engines, repairing gas refrigerators, and wash machines, so forth. So that part is what really interested me more than the retail end of it did. And so basically I was looking for a job, and this was a good opportunity. At first, a big part of our business was catering to the Amish and their needs, doing repairs for their washing machines and stoves and so forth. And as time went on, it became, especially in the late 70s, when it appeared like we were going to run out of energy, out of gas, when there was a gas shortage, everybody was worried what they're going to do. And so they looked to the Amish and said, well, they're doing all right. Let's see what they're doing. And that brought them to our place because we were serving the Amish. And so it made sense for them to start getting ready to live without electricity. And that's what really put us on the map. When the oil embargo came on and everybody was looking for hand-operated, non-electric things, and the word got out that you go with the Laymans for that. We got started mostly by trading in old things. After the war, everybody sort of wanted to go modern, and a lot of modern things came out, and so people wanted to get rid of their old things. And I sort of liked these old things, the old stoves, and so we started trading things in and kept them. And after a while, I thought, well, this is kind of interesting. I think I'll just keep on collecting antiques. So a lot of the things we have here as antiques, we originally traded in on new things. People were happy to get rid of them. I was happy to get them. A lot of the things that we sold was probably not as good as the things they traded in. The things that they traded in would have lasted a lot longer than the things they bought, although they look more modern, and so people liked them. And I just sort of had a liking for these old things. At the time, we didn't have any place to display most of them, so we just sort of stored them in a warehouse. And then eventually, when we had room to display them, we started displaying them. And I would guess right now, maybe 80% of all the antiques we have in here were brought in by somebody who thought we might like them and display them. And some of them we bought, some of them are here on loan, some of them were donated. There's quite a few things here. They said, my kids don't particularly want them, And I'd like to see them kept someplace, and I'll bring them to you, and you display them. And in some cases, they say, well, put my name on it, and if my kids later want them, they can come and get it again. If not, they'll just stay here. When you think about it, like that Rumley, 100 years ago, when there was no computer, no books, no drawings, how did they know how to make a tractor like that? Same thing with the cream separator. How did anybody know? Nowadays, when you want to build something, you get in the computer and you look up, you get information. They had none of that. But they came up with all these good ideas, although as time went on, they did improve them. But how they got the original idea, how to make things, even that threshing machine we got, they never saw a picture of it. They never knew about a threshing machine. How did they know how to make one? I was told that box was made primarily when they built the Panama Canal. They sent thousands of those down there to keep the workers keep their things cool. The top rim there was about a foot long. That's all ice, and the bottom big door is where you kept your food. I guess to slice meat or cheese, you can set that different and make different thickness of slices. This conservo, I don't know. Do you know what a conservo? You used to can everything they canned. They used to use a conservo to heat it. Put cans in there and put water at the bottom and put it on the stove.
Like we put them in a kettle now.
Yeah. That scale will weigh 1,600 pounds. And if you started, it's so well balanced that if you started once like that, it'll go for a long time. It'll just keep on going like that for a long time. And the numbers on the one side go up to 400, and the numbers on the other side go up to 1,600, and you use two weights like this. This one weight here, you need one more weight to weigh 1,600 pounds. Now, if something weighs 1,600 pounds, I don't know how you get it up there to begin with to weigh it, but and then these are scales that came out of some warehouses where they used to weigh grain when it came in. That's a turnip seeder planter, and the Timothy's that long there is a Timothy seed planter.
That is just gorgeous.
You know, you take a hold of those two handles and push it down the field, and then all along the Timothy seed comes out. And this was, if it's all together, it's a spring harrow, I guess they called it. See, the wheels go on each end, handle, the seat goes on there. That all becomes one machine when it's put together, and it's a spring harrow.
This piece here, Jay, with the chain.
Oh, that's a fence maker. The wires go through. There's 3 wires to go through, and it turns it and it twists it. Somehow it made a fence.
Okay.
Fits the fence maker.
Wow.
There's a couple more of those around someplace. And then we got all kinds of old washing machines that I cleaned up and got them ready, and now we use them for display. And this is an interesting one. This was a water motor, which you didn't see very often, but you put a water hose on here, and so you run water through it, and that's what made the washing machine work. Instead of an electric motor, you had a water motor.
Right.
Well, this bathtub came out of a hotel in Dalton. When they tore down, there used to be a hotel in Dalton, and when they tore it down, I got the bathtub out of it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's narrow, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
People didn't need gyms back in the day. They didn't have to go to fitness centers. They fit in those from the work they did.
Another washing machine, water boiler. When the people used to wash in a separate house outside, they had to have hot water. So you'd fill this thing with water and build a fire under it, and then you dip your hot water out of there to do your washing. The idea there was to heat the water for washing, and it's got nice designs on it.
Yeah, there's no reason for that other
than they had pride in making one. Yeah, they didn't have to put that on there.
No.
That's the washing machine, and that's the washing machine, and then.
Is that a grinder? No.
No. Yeah, that's a grinder. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, with a clamp.
Okay. Cheese press. Another washing machine, and that's a water boiler. You'd hook up water to that and build a fire in it, and that would heat the water. all these old washing machines. This is the ones you was talking about. Maytag made 300 of those, and that's one of the 300 left. There's very few people know. In fact, I even wrote to Maytag and asked them about it, and they said, "It's not a Maytag. You must be mistaken." So I sent them a picture of it,
Right.
and then somebody else replied, "Oh yeah, they did make 300 of those one time."
I'll be darned.
Yeah, it's double tub Maytag. This is the ones I worked on the most.
No kidding.
Yep, that's the Amish. Almost every Amishman had a washer like that when I started.
Huh.
This is double tub one, and that's again a washer and a spinner. The big one is the washer, and the small one is the spinner. A wooden one. You put the clothes in there, and there's a dasher that goes back and forth like this. You know, it used to be that all the houses had curtains hanging up, and when you wash them, the curtains sort of go out of shape when they dry. So you stretch them while they're wet, then they dry, right? Then they hang straight on the window. Wow. Curtain stretch. You can adjust it either way, sideways or the other way, but you set it to match your curtains so that as the curtains dry, they keep their shape. And this is a sled that comes with wheels or runners. In summertime, you put the wheels on. In the wintertime, when you have snow, you put the runners on.
Yep. That's gorgeous.
And
gorgeous.
The story on this was a guy brought it in. He had it in his chicken house, and the chickens would sit on here and poop all over, you know.
Right.
So he brought it in with chicken pooped all over the place.
Yeah.
He wanted to know if I wanted to buy it, and I asked him how much he wanted for it, and he told me I think it was $35. So I bought it and cleaned it all. It didn't look like this when we brought it in. I cleaned it all up, hung it up. We used to have it hanging up. And one day a guy come in and he says, "You want to sell that wagon up there?" I says, "No." He says, "Would you take $400 for it?" I says, "No." I figured if he offers me $400, it's worth a lot more than that.
It is.
So we kept it. And it's interesting.
It absolutely is. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it's
With the runners or wheels. Depends.
Yeah.
Winter or summer. Oh, another old Maytag. Bunch of old lamps there.
Yeah. So these are all for mantles.
Yeah. Yep. Those are all for mantles. Yeah. Yep. And there's an interesting thing. They used to put that thing on top of their lamp to heat the water, for the baby, keep the milk warm.
Huh.
This is a washing machine. You put your clothes in here, then you push the thing down and get on the handles and turn them like this. And it rubs your clothes in here like this. When first washing machines came out, everybody said, "Well, you can't wash as good as a machine. You've got to have your hands that go." So the washing machine guys put these hands on. So the idea is that as this washing machine goes up and down and around, these hands are washing your clothes. That was sort of the idea of telling the people we're just as good as hands.
Right, exactly.
And this is a washing machine too. You put this on the stove to keep your water hot. Then this agitator here, put that down, this agitator goes back and forth in here. This is a washing machine too. You put this in a tub of water and you put your clothes in here, then you get a hold of this and swing it and rub your clothes like that. Again, it's better than rubbing them on the stone.
That is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Joe Mishka of Rural Heritage Magazine. I'm on location of one of the many events we cover that celebrates our rural heritage. If you enjoy our show, check out our magazine, where you'll learn more about the people that blend the past with what works today. You can save almost 20% off the newsstand price by subscribing at ruralheritage.com or chat with us at 877-647-2452. That's toll-free, 877-647-2452.
This is a stove I restored. Nice, beautiful. You know what pride they took in that. Make all that beautiful stuff on there.
Oh my.
Yeah. But they took great pride in making that look
Where that's at.
laurel. It's a laurel, but I don't know where laurel was made. At one time there were lots of stove manufacturers.
Sure.
Lots of them.
Sure.
But they've all gone by the way. Those are all saw sets. When the saw is sharpened, you got to set the teeth so they come out right. So those are all saw sets. This is drill press.
Yeah.
Turn this and then this here follow. This keeps as you go around. Every time you go around, it goes one notch further, so it comes down now. And these are old cowbells. These are all antiques that are hanging up around here. And we sell new cowbells too.
What's this?
Oh, that's to cut grass, and that's the size corn.
Yeah.
You're running through there, and different size holes, different size grains drop out.
Yep. For your seed corn.
Yeah, there's a teeth for a molding.
Like a tool and die?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Each one has a different shape,
Right.
and it takes 3 of them to put in a mold, and it spins. And it'll make all kinds of. It'll make the edge, whatever shape is on there. That's the kind of edge it'll make.
Wow.
Here's an old stove. Part of an old stove, just part of it. Here's a complete one, which that would have been sort of the Cadillac too in his day. And that there is one of the first Xerox machines. It was draftsmen used that to make prints.
Copies?
Yeah. It had big white drawers because they had big white sheets. Then they put the sheet on there, and they had special bulbs in there, and that would reproduce the drawings.
Wow.
So it was one of the first Xerox machines,
Right.
I guess.
Exactly.
And there's a peanut grinder, a peanut roaster, I should say.
Sure. A roaster.
Or it could be a coffee roaster too.
Uh-huh.
This was a double
Man's
tub
best friend, yeah.
double tub wooden washer. Again, back in its days, this was probably the Cadillac and washing machines.
Yeah.
What I like particularly is this woman's friend, and it has a double ringer. Yeah, a ringer for this one and a ringer for this one, and you can operate just this or just this by the controls on the back, and you put an engine on here.
Yeah.
Spin it, so it would wash your clothes and wring them and.
Look at that treadmill. Horsepower.
Yeah, dog or horse.
Right,
The dogs
right.
or horse or
Exactly.
goats.
Right.
And, you set at different angles that makes them go faster or slower. And you hook up a butter churn or a meat grinder or a corn sheller or something like that.
Right.
That's a cheese press there.
Okay.
You turn that with those 2 handles there.
Right.
You turn it, and that brings the bottom up, presses the cheese.
And that's to squeeze the moisture out.
Yep.
And is this...
That's a sweeper. You pump that, it makes a vacuum. When you pump that thing, it makes a vacuum. It's a sweeper. And the bottom one is a sweeper too. It has a handle on too. You pump that, and that makes a vacuum. So it makes a vacuum sweeper. And this is a press. This press here does 3 things. It cleans the grain, it sizes the grain, and it polishes the grain. It's got brushes and stuff inside, so when you put the grain in, it sizes it, then it's got brushes in it, it cleans it, or has a fan in it that cleans it, gets the dirt out, then it has the brushes in it that polishes it. Years ago, again, people took pride in what they took to the fair, so they wanted their grain clean and polished, so they'd run it through one of those machines. Here's 2 things that I don't know. I have a number of things in there that I don't know what they are. And those are 2 things that I don't know what they are. There's a milking machine. When you pump that handle, there's 2 vacuums there. When you pump that handle, those vacuums go up and down and make a vacuum. And it's the same principle used nowadays where you make a vacuum to do your milking. And you push that along back of a cow and hook it up and you pump it and the vacuum. Here's another, what is it? Here's the what is it. On this one here, there's a string went up here and a string went up here. Then you pull on the string and this thing would drop out. I don't know what it is. And then you push it back in again. I don't know what it is. This is a meat curing trough, not a watering trough, a meat curing trough. They make a brine in there, put water and salt in there, make a brine, and put their hams in there and let them cure.
Wow.
Okay, this is a fence maker. Well, there's a picture here of it. Here, see, there's wires go through. Everyone has a wire through it.
Right.
And as you go down, it twists and
It weaves it.
yeah, it makes a wire fence.
Holy cow.
Each one of these red things has one wire through it, and you move it down and keep spinning it, and it twists. And this came out of a blacksmith shop that burned down, and it burned all the handles out.
Got burned,
Yeah, so
the iron remained.
but every one is a different shape.
Yep.
So
Right.
the blacksmith, he always knew which one to pick up, depending on the job he had to do. That's a butchering table. You put your hog on there when you're cleaning and butchering it, and all the things you don't want fall down, and you work on it to do the butchering. This came out of a barn. It used to be a feed cart. You'd fill this thing up with feed, and you'd push it through the barn, and then you'd take a shovel and give each cow,
I see these all the time,
Yeah.
but never out of wood.
yeah,
That is
yeah,
beautiful.
right.
That is for...
Oh, that's
That's a silo elevator.
It's an elevator. The box is missing. There was a box on there, and then as you moved grain from one floor to the other, that there wheeled it up. Yeah, it came out of an old mill. So you knew what that was. Not many people know what that is.
Well, you got a picture today. It looks just like that, but it's all metal, and it's not little square. It's all continuous.
Yeah,
That is-
yeah. The principle is still the same.
It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it is. And so it's got holes in it to go the other direction.
Yeah, I think so. You change the pins.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah. On quite a number of things, I have a sign on it. What is it? And the reason the sign is on there is that I didn't know what it was when it was brought in, but because of the sign, some people told me what it is. And so some of the things I now know what they are, but I have quite a few things that I don't know what it is, and nobody else seems to know what it is. But at one time it was made for some function. And this is a butter maker. You put your butter in there and you turn this thing, and this thing rolls back and forth and kneads the butter.
Okay.
As this thing goes, it's all tied up. But as you turn that handle, that thing keeps going back and forth here, and these things go down in the butter and like kneading the butter. I don't think you'll see that any place in a retail store.
No.
It's to gather the manure.
Yeah.
Later they were used for feeders.
Right.
In the back they put the manure up, and later they put the track in the front of the cows, and then they use them for feed. You pull that chain and the whole thing comes down, and when it's full you bring it up, and it's got a transfer thing on it. You can go to that room or this room or straight ahead out the manure spreader. Then you turn it back down.
That's all the time we have this week to spend with Jay Lehman, founder of Layman's in Kidron, Ohio. But be sure to come back next week when Jay shows us more of the amazing antique machines and tools he has restored and displayed at his store, including an old Rumley oil pull tractor, a Model T Ford automobile, a wooden threshing machine, the skeleton of a timber frame barn, and much, much more. Thanks for joining us today at Rural Heritage on RFD TV, where we borrow from yesterday to do the work of today. This program is available for purchase. To order your copy, please call 319-362-3027 or visit www.ruralheritage.com. Rural Heritage is a bi-monthly magazine dedicated to draft animal farming and logging, as well as other aspects of our rich rural heritage. It is published by Mishka Press, which also offers a complete line of Back to the Land books, DVDs, and calendars. Call or write for a catalog or subscription information, or visit our website at www.ruralheritage.com.